This 33-year-old moved to South Africa from New York after falling in love. Now she lives on $88 a day. This 33-time-old moved to South Africa from New York after falling in love. Now she lives on $88 a day, via CNBCMakeIt. Tanisha Colon-Bibb says nothing has really changed about her routine in South Africa despite the emergence of a new coronavirus variant there. Tanisha Colon-Bibb always planned on spending her life in New York, until love brought her halfway across the globe. The 33-time-old entrepreneur grew up in Harlem as the youthful of 4 children. After graduating from Spelman College in 2010, she launched her first business, Rebelle Agency, helping guests in entertainment, nonprofit and other fields coordinate their marketing and advertising strategies. I have really tried to work with talented people that want to use their voice for good, Colon-Bibb tells CNBCMakeIt. That has led me to work with a lot of known-age voices, whether it's women, Black and brown people or members of the LGBTQ community. It really brings me joy to help give a voice to marginalized people. In 2018, she launched her alternate business, a gift operation establishment called Rebelle Management. Running 2 businesses, still, came draining for Colon-Bibb, and by the end of 2018, she says she felt wedged in New York. I felt like all of my time and energy was spent toward directing my business, she notes. WedgedTopics.com. Love made me move to South Africa. One trip to Cape Town would change her life. In November 2019, Colon-Bibb visited South Africa's legislative capital for her friend's marriage and met her swain Malusi Sibito, a professional justice player from Cape Town. There were instant fireworks. It was love at first sight, she recalls. They spent the coming many months traveling throughout Africa and Europe together before the coronavirus epidemic mega-hit. Tanisha and her swain Malusi Sibito photo Walter Randall the brace navigated a long-distance relationship and a 7-hour time difference for several months until transnational border restrictions were lifted in October 2020. Colon-Bibb moved to Johannesburg, where Sibito lives, that month. It was not indeed an alternate study for me to come then, live with him and make our relationship, she says. It was not indeed an alternate study for me to come then, live with him and make our relationship. While some of Colon-Bibb's musketeers were skeptical at first about her moving in with a new swain, they, along with her parents have been probative of her decision. Most people are agitated, but they also have a lot of questions, like what are you doing there? And how could you live in a fully different country? She says. Getting a sightseer visa from South Africa in fall 2020, trippers from the United States were still considered high threat for coronavirus transmission by the South African government, so Colon-Bibb could not fly directly from New York to Johannesburg. She quarantined for 2 weeks in Ghana with a friend and flew to Johannesburg from there. Colon-Bibb was granted a 90-day visa that was extended to September 2021 due to rising coronavirus cases throughout the mainland and safety enterprises. She traveled to the United States to visit family and musketeers at the end of the month and was granted a new 90-day visa so she could continue to stay in Johannesburg after she returned. While the 90-day sightseer visa has been a helpful short-term result for the original move, Colon-Bibb says she's considering operations for a business or cooperation visa with Sibito so she can make further of an endless life in South Africa. How she spends her money before her relocation. Colon-Bibb says she frequently felt like she was living stipend to stipend in New York, but living in Johannesburg has helped her save for the plutocrat and raise her credit score. Anyone who lives in New York knows that anytime you step outdoors, you ever end up spending at least $100, Colon-Bibb says. Stipend to stipend. In April she and Sibito moved into a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath apartment where they resolved the cost of rent and serviceability. Colon-Bibb pays about $979 in rent per month, which is her largest expenditure. But she has saved plutocrat by turning off cell service to Haru.S. phone number and switching to Wi-Fi calling, which costs her about $150 each month. Headtopics.com. She also devotes a portion of her budget, about $565 each month, to tone care conditioning like nail and hair salon treatments. To help with homesickness, Colon-Bibb spends $26 each month on a VPN service and Netflix subscription so she can watch American television shows like Grey's Deconstruction and Law and Order. While Colon-Bibb substantially culinarians her refections at home, she also likes to explore different cafes in and around Johannesburg each week with musketeers. "There is such a lively energy in South Africa," she says. "There is such a lively energy in South Africa." Other particulars in Colon-Bibb's budget include a recreating donation to her church in New York and payments toward her pupil loans, a particular loan and old serviceability bills she's continuing to pay off from her old New York apartment. Tanisha Colon-Bibb's average yearly spending,